Alright, I think you should experience a cut right now in the video because I just had some recording problems. But what I was saying is that that's basically two games, two examples of things you can do. I'm going to show some stuff that didn't happen in those games, but are important nonetheless, and I can't be bothered to find replays of these things. But they are very common, so don't worry. One very common thing is what should I buy after those items you show, which is very simple items. It's like Veil and Blink, right? What's next? Blink, Veil. Usually I buy Arcanes. Next up, I usually buy Yules. Now, the reason for this is very simple. Let's say I'm playing against some guy with Dust of Appearance. Press W. You know, he can't see me. Oh, how do I kill Sanking? So I'm going to press Dust. I'm going to hit him. And I use myself. And then... Oh, he's gone again. Because it purges it and you can walk around. The other thing is, if you're panicking, you press W, it gives you 2 seconds of this, it gives you another way to cancel stuns, it gives you move speed, which is decent on this hero, it gives you mana regen, it gives you int. So it's a very good hero. You can also do some combos with it. You can do like, wait, hold on, wrong button. Sometimes you don't have your stun, right? You already used it somewhere, you can use. You get the idea, you can like use, can charge your epi, you can do that. It's not something you should do very often, but sometimes it's useful. If they're trying to kill you, and even if they do have sentries down, you want to buy some time, you just use, gives you 2 seconds of 100 damage. If you already have your stun, they're TPing out, you know, it's an easy cancel. Just a really good item in general. The other thing is, if you're going to buy Yules, this is going to be what my inventory normally looks like. I will buy 4 sentries, or maybe 3 sentries, and a Tango. And you might be thinking, why on earth would you buy a Tango at like minute 25? The answer is very simple. Let's say this man puts down a sentry in the fight. Can I do that? I don't think I can do that for some reason. Can I really not put down wards? Oh, that's weird. Huh. So basically, see that? That is what you can do with a Tango. Obviously, that's unrealistic. But like, say this guy puts down a sentry in the fight. I see that it's gone from his inventory. Well, I would, but something going on here. Say I do the Quelling Blade, and then he puts out another sentry, obviously, and then I'm like trying to right click it and I'm dead. If I have some Tangos, what's going to happen is, he puts out a sentry, I Tango it, puts out another sentry, I Tango it, he puts out like 4 sentry wards, like obviously this is unrealistic, I can go bam 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 bam, and then in his desperation he presses Dust, and I purge it off. This is basically how you play Sand King. I call it the Exodia build because it's unbeatable. You can kill their sentries, you can kill their wards. Now you might be thinking, alright, this is kind of stupid. What if they have 2 heroes? And, you know, they stagger their dust to counter you. This is where we move on to the next item in the build, I guess. Next item in the build is going to be Lotus Orb. Sometimes I buy this first item, sometimes I buy this, you know, at some other point, you know, then you can Dust, Lotus, Dust, Yules. And you might be thinking, what if they have 3 heroes all with Dust, you know, because they're sick of the Sand King because it's annoying. Where is Dust actually? Yeah. The next item in this build is actually Guardian Greaves. So you can go like Dust, Lotus, Dust, Greaves, and you always want to use your Yules last because it's the one that disables you for 2 seconds, so they can put down sentries under your feet or something like that. So the only real counter is Gem of True Sight, but then they have a gem, so it's, you know. What else was I going to talk about? The other really good item on Sand King is Aghanim Scepter. This item is very, very strong. It lets you stun from very far away. There's now a really good escape. You can stun more people with it, like easy 3-man stun from a long range. Other good items are like Radiance. This does a lot of damage with your W. See, it just burns through people. You got the Cypher Vice, which is always good. Basically everything here is pretty good. You got the E-Blade with Ritual Veil. You can burst people with it. Like, this is quite nice if there's one person you have to kill along with Veil. Pipe, obviously, always good. Crimson Guard, always good. These are just standard offlaner items. Guardian Greaves, I already mentioned. Orb of Venom is actually sometimes good, but it's usually bad. Eighth Lens is kind of bad now, but, you know, I still have it in my guide. Blade Mail is sometimes good because you press W, they want to kill you. You press Blade Mail, you can trade a lot of damage with it, but it's kind of a you buy it from behind. It's not something that you want to be buying. BKB is kind of bad, I think. I don't really like BKB on Sand King, but sometimes you can buy it. Shiva's is a good item. Heart and Cuirass are both quite bad. You don't really want to be buying tank items. Just get like Radiance Vice and some Ags and, Force Staff, stuff like that. As for some tips and tricks, you want to learn which heroes can cancel your combo, like Q into R, and which heroes can't. So, let's select an enemy hero. Let's say you're playing against a Ember Spirit, let's say. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, can I kill this Ember Spirit with a Q and an R? So I press this and this. Yes, you can, because he has no stuns. But what this does highlight is that a lot of heroes, because they have no turn, it makes it very easy for them to cancel your spell. So, let's say I do Q into R on this puck. I can press the... So like you can see, this is what I'm talking about. There's a it says 2.2 second stun, right? And this is 2 second channel. So you might be thinking to yourself, how is this possible? There's a like 0.5 second after the stun where the hero does not act. So, but some other heroes you don't have this problem with. Like let's say Wraith King. I made another puck somehow. Say Wraith King, just stun a Wraith King, ult him. Tries to stun you, he can't do it. Another nice thing about playing against Wraith King is this happens a lot actually. If you stun him here, once he's out of stun, he's gonna stun you back. If you stun him behind, he's gonna stun you. Oh well, he died actually. If you stun him behind, wait, hold on. Why am I doing this? If you stun behind him, he's going to be forced to turn his hero and, oh, because I forgot to level the ability, of course. He's going to be forced to turn his hero, which is going to take more time. You see, like this versus just straight up this. It's like a extra 0.3 seconds, which is nice sometimes. Makes it slightly hard to cancel your combo, like stun here. See how this is like slower than if he just faced you. And the other thing is obviously you can dodge spells with your Sandstorm. This is something that I do a lot. You see a stun flying at you, just press one of these. Obviously there's a gem on the floor, I think is the problem. But point is you can dodge spells with that. You can dodge with Yules as well. What else was I gonna say? There's some spells that you can dodge with Sand King that are not necessarily very obvious. Like you got the Disruptor Glimpse actually that you can dodge. Because the W is actually a relocation spell. So let's say I'm just walking around the Sand King, and I'm gonna place a ward actually because it's really annoying. I can't see the hero. And he presses W on me. Well, obviously I'm standing still, so it's not gonna do anything. But okay, let's say I blink over here and he presses W on me. Okay, this is not really very easy. Yeah, like I said, this one does take a lot of practice, and there we go. Only took 3 tries. So the trick to this one is hello. Trick to this one is as you land in there, you want to start your stun, and then you can get your way out of it very easily. So just practice it in a lobby. Like it gets harder if you're further away because obviously it's harder to watch the projectile. You can also do it by sound, like as it goes into moment, you can blink. So that's me trying to do it by sound, but obviously it's not as easy. Some other spells you can dodge, like I think the Kunkka is a good example. So let me just level up. Okay, so a lot of Kunkkas they'll do this, and then they do this. it's hard for me to demonstrate by myself, but like basically what's gonna happen is he's gonna X mark you, and then hold up. He's gonna X mark you, and as this is running out, it's hard because this is not a realistic rendition of what happens in game. I'll try and I'm gonna explain it to in game. What happens is the Kunkka X marks you and he uses the combo, right? Which means he's gonna drag back. And when you see him lift his arm like this, that means there's like a time duration for when he's gonna do it. So let me just do this. So this is when you stun. See, I dodged the X like that. So when you see him raise his arm, and the other thing is a lot of Kunkka players, they like to fake you out with the Q pump. They go like this, and then they pump their Q once or twice so that you do stun, and then you get dragged back. Now, there's a few ways to deal with this. First of all, there's use. If you can use, you can always use X-Mount, obviously, but that's the boring coward's way out, whatever. When he does it for real, you will gain a stick charge. So you see the... So that's how you... you can check your stick, basically. Some other cool interactions are like... Some other cool interactions are like the Q sometimes with your... What's that hero I want to make? Hold up, let me just think real quick. This hero is the one I was thinking of. Okay, so you might be thinking Zeus is really annoying because he ults and it cancels my blink dagger. Something cool that you can do is you can buy the... Well, firstly, you can start the fight in Sandstorm and then he presses R and it does no damage. You can blink in. So like, if I'm playing against Zeus, I can do this, see like something like that, or you can go something like this. Wait, hold up. Because I'm too near the ember. Something like that, basically. But yeah, so I'm just gonna quickly talk about friends and foes, and then I'm gonna wrap up this guide. And if you have any further questions, put them in the comments or something like that. Friends and foe. I'm gonna talk about foe mostly, actually. For foe, the main problems you have are heroes that can beat you on lane. And the ones that can do that are like Zeus. Because you press W, some sort of support Zeus shows up to your lane, you press this lightning bolt in the area, suddenly you are revealed. Everyone can fucking hit you for like 8 seconds or however long this lasts. I can't remember actually. 4.5. It's a very cheap spell, it spams you out, it's very annoying. You can also, you know, cancel your blink, obviously, it does a lot of damage. Very annoying spell, very annoying hero. How you play against it, I've already discussed it, the smoke. As for the laning stage, just try and dodge Zeus. Like, if you lane against Zeus, it's really hard. And if you do lane against Zeus, just try and survive because support Zeus will fall off if you don't die. The other hero is Undying. This hero is very strong against you in lane because he is going to take your strength and you're not going to hit very hard against him. And he's going to be very tanky, so he's hard to kill inside Sandstorm. He's got big nuke damage with the Soul Rip. But this hero is good against all melee heroes in lane, so generally speaking. I'm just going to put the list of counters over here, actually, so you can see them. So these two heroes are annoying. Next up, you have two heroes of similar reasons. You have the Dark Willow and a slightly more uncommon hero nowadays, but you also have the Lone Druid. The reason for this one is pretty simple. You press your Sandstorm, you press his E on you in lane. Obviously I have good AoE, but like if I'm standing on like the edge of it, you know, like somewhere here maybe, he runs in with the bear. It's hard to contest last hits against the bear as well as the hero. Obviously the Dark Willow one, you know, she can do this in team fights and then it knocks you out of your ult. It's really of your W. It's really annoying. She can do this thing, which you can't really do much against. Get hit for big damage in lane. This one is really annoying against you because you can't stun out of roots, so you're kind of just stuck here. And like, you know, just a lot of annoying spells. This, and then you can't epi now because you've got this thing on you. So Dark Willow is really good against you in lane in general. How you want to play against Dark Willow is that you just want to you want to play on the edge of your sandstorm as much as it's humanly possible, like this. And then when you do get W's, a lot of the times you won't actually run out in time, especially when you don't have good movement speed, like this. But the other thing is, she is squishy. You know, when she presses W, you just want to go to here, and then something like that. Just make sure you don't get caught by the Q. That's like the main problem with this. And the other heroes that are good against you in lane are like Morphling, because he hits very hard and you can't really damage him. Anti-Mage, high magic resist, Juggernaut, Life Stealer, Faceless Void. Faceless Void used to be very easy to counter because your stun used to last 2.1 seconds and his Q is on a 2-second, but nowadays you do like a lot of damage to him, right? And you just time walks it all because your stun doesn't last long enough at early levels because they made it scale. So this hero is really good against you. Later on, he can just like, if they're really frustrated by your invisibility, you know, he can drop he can drop this on you. Thing is, Sanking uses spells a lot, you know, you want to go like this, and then your Epi's on cooldown most of the time, and then you press W, and then look at this, your hero's so bad at this point, you have to use, and then once you do use, you know, you can drop you into a chrono or something. So that's basically all the counters. As for heroes that are good with you, you have like Grimstroke gives you a double stun, Bloodseeker buffs your damage, Ancient Apparitions like the classic combo, magic resist, nuke damage, it's all very nice. So I think that's going to be it, actually. I'm going to call this part 1 of my video, actually, maybe. I think it's around an hour long anyway. So if you enjoyed this, I don't know, like and subscribe, I guess. And leave your thoughts in the comments so I can improve. If the improvement is video editing, it's not going to happen because I can't. And just tell me if I missed anything, because obviously once you play 2,000 games of a hero, there are going to be things you forget to mention. So if I get enough traction on this video, I will make a part 2. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.